Well, basically what's happened today is the Queen has come and opened Parliament. She does this every year. She comes in the state carriage. There's a lot of pomp and ceremony, people in fancy uniforms walking backwards, and it's a great tourist attraction. But the serious political business behind it is David Cameron setting up the laws that he hopes to pass in the coming year. And the backdrop to that is his party, the Conservative Party, are falling apart over Europe. The question of whether we should remain in or out of the European Union in a referendum on June the 23rd. And what he set out is a package of legislation which he hopes can unite his party and show it's got some sort of forward momentum after that referendum. Well, David Cameron's described it as a one nation Queen's speech, so he sees this as a unifying speech that can bring the country together and, more importantly from his point of view, the party together. So there's lots of sort of softer conservatism, stuff like, for example, prison reform, adoption reform, schools reform, all intended to improve the life chances of people who have been left behind in society. That's all pretty non-controversial, and he should be able to get it through even though his party is in a fairly rebellious state. There are a couple of bills which are quite good for the economy, for example, making it easier to put up mobile phone masts to spread the coverage of broadband to remote parts of the country, and also some measures to improve the sort of futuristic transport innovations like driverless cars, drones, and even a spaceport for Cornwall. And there's a third element which is about tackling extremism, which I think could be the most contentious part of the Queen's speech. This is about disrupting extremist networks, stopping people, sort of draining the swamp is the term, stopping people accessing extremist material, being taught in schools where they're being exposed to extremist ideology. So those are the main areas, although I think there'll be quite a lot of discussion about one of the bills which isn't in the Queen's speech, which is a proposed sovereignty bill. David Cameron has been talking about this for some time, a bill which basically makes it absolutely clear that the House of Commons here is supreme over the European Union. That's been put on the back burner to the dismay of quite a few Conservative Eurosceptics. Well, I think this legislative package will be helpful in helping to bring the party together. It's a kind of agenda, a softer Conservative agenda that most in his party can rally around. But frankly, only a small part of what happens here at Westminster is to do with legislation. A lot of it is to do with personal ambition, deep ideological divisions, particularly on Europe. The fact that David Cameron has announced he's going to stop being Prime Minister before 2020. So the day after the referendum, attention will turn to who will succeed him. Will it be Boris Johnson? Will it be George Osborne? Will it be someone else? So although the legislative programme being announced by Her Majesty today might be useful for David Cameron, it certainly won't stop the arguments in his party.